The Staincast.
What is the Staincast?
Stain?
Stain. Who is Stain?
Am I dreaming?
Yeah.
This is for both Dumbledores.
Tough scene. This is for what is it, Michael Galdrin or whatever it is. Hold on, let me look at it. Who's this Dumbledore?
Rest in peace, Dumbledore.
Yeah, they fucking got him. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Staincast. I'm going to see the episode this week. Episode number 112. I know
Sure.
you guys are very confused when you don't hear the episode. I feel that, all right? Sometimes I am too. But this week, like you saw in the title, we got Harry Potter in the Prisoner of Azkaban. Wow, I can't.
Azkaban.
It's not even hard to say. It's literally fucking Azkaban, but whatever. Okay. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, book number 3. For those who've been keeping count, we are now on the third movie.
Yes, sir.
As you can see, we have a semi-recent returning guest. Well, you've been on kind of recently, haven't you, Donnie?
The last one that was on was Whiplash. Right?
Was
Okay.
it?
That must have been like
Yeah.
beginning.
That was like-
Not beginning, like
Like
middle to
December.
end of last year.
Mid-December.
Oh, okay. That wasn't that
Hasn't
long
been
ago at
super
all.
long.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's not like B, who literally he hasn't even been on since we've done fucking
2
face
years.
cam.
Yeah, fucking
That
2
shit,
years.
that shit's egregious. But
That's crazy.
before I get ahead of myself, of course, I am the co-host DL, the other one Hag to my right. I'm not sure what he's on for you guys, and Pusk in the middle, or Ronnie P, as
Ronnie P.
the colloquial term for Pusk, Ronald Pusk. Let's
Ron.
jump right into this joint. New content wise, we really don't have anything. I don't. Oh no, we got
X-Men is
Shogun.
Still tough. X-Men is still tough. Still
Shogun.
Still
watch
tough.
X-Men.
Shogun. If nothing,
Shogun
if
is still
nothing else
tough.
comes out this year, that is show of the year.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still got the boys.
Yeah,
and
as I'm saying, June
House
is
of
about to be.
Dragon and the Bear. All in
Yeah.
one month.
That's just ridiculous. I'm kind of like it's so bittersweet because it's like after that like July, like when they're all finished, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off because it's like
No.
we have peak and then we just have nothing, which sucks because that's it's gonna be
Well,
busting.
apparently Fallout's pretty good too. I might have
That's
to
what
check
Xander
that
was
out.
saying. Xander was saying that
Uh,
shit was good too.
Janet was saying that.
I just have a problem with supporting live action movies for something that doesn't need live action. It's like Invincible. I won't support that movie when it comes out. I don't care who the fuck's playing who. It's like at some point someone's got to put their foot down, and like I don't mind doing it because I'll wait to see how it goes. Because for something like Fallout, I don't really have that much beef with. Like it's whatever. It's a TV show.
I mean, it makes sense. Like that. So the way I look at it is, like you don't need a recreation of it, but like
Yeah.
an adaptation in that world, like
That's
that's
fine.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Invincible. Like
But-
it already
but
has
you
the
don't-
fucking
exactly. You don't
TV
need
show.
the one-to-one recreation. Like
I
all
agree.
of the Marvel movies are adaptations. They're not like the story one-to-one in live action.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I don't. That's my issue with like the live action Avatar. But
Yeah. It just
story
feels
part of
like that's like at the end of everyone's drawing board. It's like, all right, we'll do this, we'll do TV shows, we'll do merchandise, we'll do toys, but we at the end of the rainbow, the live action remake or live action reimagining. It's like I don't know.
why?
I think it's just because it's the biggest market would be like a movie like that.
Well, you have
Yes.
people like Mumbarilla who literally like they sleep on live action. I mean, on not live action, on animation. Like,
animation.
Mumbarilla,
I just couldn't even. I think that statement is just ridiculous to me. It's the same thing when people tell me they don't like sandwiches. That's the exact same type of statement. It's like, oh, I don't like sandwiches. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, oh, I don't like animation. Like, what are we talking about? It's
Yeah.
animation. Like, it's so big. It's like saying I don't like fucking movies with guns in it. It's like it's too broad.
I will say though, he has been watching the original X-Men '97 to catch up to be into this, and he's been really fucking with it so far. He's been texting me about it. So I will say it's starting to grow on him. However, he doesn't click with animation.
Yeah.
I was texting him. I was like, "Holy shit, this X like the new X-Men episode was so good." And he goes, "How can something like X-Men '97 be as good as like it is?" And I'm like, "Because you sleep on fucking animation."
Yeah,
Like,
what the fuck? I mean, like, it depends on the medium. It's like if it's like something like Arcane should always be animated. Like, it should never be live action. We covered it on anyone who's curious about Arcane. We did a video on it. I'm sure it'll be here or here. Doesn't really matter.
it'll be
That
somewhere.
shit. That shit's beautiful. Literally perfect movie. If it was in live action, I mean, I'm not gonna say it would be worse, but I mean, like, it just doesn't have that same like the art
It
style.
wouldn't have the
is
same
just made-
soul.
That's what I'm saying, because the art style is just made for animation, like that whole fucking like steampunk kind of like fucking I don't know comic kind of style to it. It's made for it. Like I couldn't imagine.
I mean,
But
it's
there's some
literally just
movies.
grabbing them. Arcane specifically just literally grabs like the art style of the game,
Mhm.
just animates it.
Yeah, that's true. I
And
think
you
that's
know,
another thing
shows
too.
like that are tough when it's getting someone like my pops to watch it because he loved
Mhm.
Arcane.
Mm-hmm. I've watched that show like 2-3 times now because I watched it twice, like within a year. Then I watched it for the most recent episode we covered. It's just top to bottom, a wholesome, good. Like it's just, I have no complaints on. Like I said, we're not gonna get into it. We already spoke about it. But to Mumbarilla's point, I can understand that animation definitely. I think if you watch too much of it, I think you could definitely get burnt out a lot more so than watching, just live action because that's real life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get
Yes.
that. I get that. But
Yes.
but that's why you got to watch good animation, right? Like that's why you got to watch shit that's good because then you don't burn out on it because it's good,
Like for me, like no matter what animation or live action, if it's a good story,
Mhm.
I'm gonna watch it. Like it's a good story, and it deserves to be rated as that. No separate categories, no separate. Like if it's movie of the year, it's movie of the.
Yeah.
It's fucking Queel, are you drinking out of Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
um,
Tough.
I'm sorry.
sipping
It's
water.
funny. I'm sipping Gatorade.
No, you're sipping piss.
That's true. But yeah, if you get stuck like watching shitty animation
Yeah,
or
if you're
like,
watching like South Park or something, I understand why you got beef with fucking animation, but
well, yeah, but even stuff like South Park has a time and a place. Like I love putting on South Park in the background or just when I'm cooked, just to put
Yeah.
on. But
Sling just ruined that shit for me. That's another topic for another time.
yeah,
But besides that, I mean, like we already said, Shogun tough, X-Men tough. Watch both. If you want live action, you got Shogun. If you want animated, you got X-Men. There you go. There you
if you
go,
want
Mumbrella.
stories, you have both.
Exactly. Take your pick. Shogun tough though. Sheesh. Second to last episode, penultimate episode came out last night. Ooh, yesterday, not last night. Yesterday. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyone who knows, you know. But that shit tough. Let's get into the fucking meat and potatoes though. Unless Husk, you had any new stuff that you've been watching besides obviously Shogun.
No.
Okay, good.
My Hero starts soon. I know that much.
I'm off My Hero.
Fuck you.
Why? What's
We've
your
been
beef,
off that.
Don? What's the beef?
It just, I was keeping up with the manga and it just kept dragging and dragging and dragging. And it just wasn't fun to read anymore for me. Once it ends, I'll probably end up catching up to it. But at this point, it's just not interesting to me at all.
It has been dragged a little bit, but I still enjoy it.
Damn, they got Uncle Vernon in a pack too. Tough.
Damn. All right. I mean, honestly, Uncle Vernon belongs in a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Jeez, man.
I guess speaking
They
of
both
Uncle
do,
Vernon,
and
we'll just
Petunia.
go straight into it.
Yeah. Aunt Marge. Damn, she ain't in a pack yet. Get me tight.
Is that the one he blew up?
I think so.
Yeah, Marge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, let's jump right into this bad boy. As the title says, we got Harry Potter 3. Let's just
Prisoner of
start
Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban, like he said. Let's just start right at what we know best, favorite and least favorite characters. Don, you want to go? Start us off, get us warmed up.
What's up, Don?
Favorite? It's probably going to be Professor Reuben.
Okay.
I like them.
Okay.
I remember I like them a
werewolf,
lot.
right?
Yeah, Lupin.
Yes.
Yeah.
The defensive dark arts professor.
Yeah.
I just like his I like the actor a lot, and I think just like his character arc was really good. Least favorite? I don't know, Neville, Uncle Vernon,
yeah, sure, why
Aunt
not?
Petunia,
always
like
gets
all
shit
those
on.
guys.
We haven't spoken about Neville yet, actually, which is
It's
surprising.
it's I don't know. It harkens back to that like really really old trope of just like the nerdy kid that just gets bullied all the time. He just had the
Yeah,
worst luck
like-
imaginable.
Literally, Neville's
For no
entire character
reason.
is just getting shit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's just there to be the butt of the joke every scene he's in. Like there's
Yeah.
no point to his character, at least so far. I know you boys haven't watched the rest of the movies, but like at least like this point so far, he's just the comic
Yeah.
relief. So he's like very expendable.
I think there's a lot of characters like that right now, honestly.
Yeah.
They're not like the main three, but I feel like there's just a lot of characters that are kind of written like they're just not.
Yeah.
They just don't have anything to do right now, and that's fine. I mean, that just happens, and when
They'll
you
have
have
something to do in the future. Like
Yeah.
They do.
that's for sure.
They do.
yeah,
But
Someone's Satan. Who's Satan? Is that Don?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
He's
Don-
outside.
just
Don,
curious.
I was shocked you could hear that.
Jesus.
I hear everything.
I guess I'll go into mine then.
Okay. What you got?
So starting off with favorite, I'm gonna go with Hagrid. I'm doubling back on book one and going with Hagrid, and they actually give him a decent amount to do in this movie. He's a professor now.
Okay.
He's got more to do in this movie than
Yeah.
he did in the fucking last one.
The
Yeah.
second one, you
Uh,
mean?
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah.
So he's a professor now. Like, I like that he's teaching about like the beasts and stuff because like to me that's very interesting. I don't know. I like Hagrid.
I think
Hagrid's-
he's in a pack too, unfortunately.
He is. He is. Unfortunately.
Shit is crazy. I was literally born a couple of years after these movies came out, and everyone's in a pack. Like that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I grew up
I mean,
watching
anyone
them,
who
half of them are
anyone who
dead.
wasn't, a kid, like in that a student, basically. I feel like anyone who wasn't a student's in a pack, which is fucking crazy. But
Then I guess going with least favorite. So I'm back and forth on two. Cause like, I want to pick Draco, but at this point, like,
that's
there's
too
no.
easy.
Yeah,
No.
it's too easy. I know there's gonna be some character development there, so it's like, whatever. I can't pick Draco, but I think I gotta go with Peter Pettigrew. Is that what it had? Pettigrew.
No, he's
He
Oh
nasty.
yeah, hideous.
Nasty
nasty.
looking.
Yeah,
Nasty looking.
yeah, true. I literally remember this for some reason this movie I remember I've 100% watched it before when I was younger, and I remember him, Peter Pettigrew, and I remember that train scene at the beginning when that Dementor
Dementor
pulls
stops
up.
the train.
Yeah, and the ice. I just remember it turning things to ice. That's what I remember 100%.
So I've never watched any of this.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it's been so long. Where that's the two things I remember. That's not. I might as well have never watched it.
Also, for those who didn't know, Danny Oldman plays Sirius Black, and that's
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Think I didn't know? Think I can't hear Reznov from fucking any place at any time? That's the GOAT, for God's sakes. I got.
Yeah.
I mean, look, perfect segue. My favorite. Look, he'll be my personal favorite character, like
I was
the
gonna- he's not much
subjective.
in- yeah, he's
the
not in the movie.
subjective favorite character, but the objective. I mean, actually, no, there's no objective favorite. Well, whatever. My other favorite character. I'm just gonna say Dumbledore. We talked about it before we on air. I don't know how much you guys are gonna hear from that conversation that we had, but to me, and Hag said it too. It's like a night and day difference in this movie between old Dumbledore. The guy. We spoke about it. I think last time would be how he was having health problems. The old Dumbledore, so they had to recast him for someone who's slightly younger, only 10 years younger, but. It was just like a breath of fresh air into the character. I feel like the last one had 5 lines of dialogue before he has to take a breath. But this one is just energized, moving,
Very
always
lively.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I will say, yeah, this definitely made Dumbledore even more of a likable character
Yes.
than it was.
And we even said, I
He
remember
was.
we were saying he was good in the last movie, and I completely agree. But now that you see this this lively side, like we said, of this character, it's just a shame we couldn't have had the other guy when he was younger, when he still had that spryness to him. Because I think he would have been awesome. I'm not trying to take it away from the other guy, but just seeing Dumbledore actually almost childlike, like when he's talking to the kids. I feel like he kind of has that soft side that you definitely see a lot more through Michael, whatever his name is,
Gambon.
compared to the previous. I think that's important because the whole point is this guy's always taking the kid's side. He always says, he's look, I trust you, but you have to convince other people to do it. And I think by him having that childish side to him kind of brings it full circle. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Who else? Yeah. So those are my 2 favorites. Sirius Black, of course. Anyone who don't know who Gary Oldman is, you're out of your fucking mind, and you didn't have a childhood, and I'm very sorry about that. Where are we at? Oh, least favorite character. I'm gonna agree with you, Hag. Whoever you said, that rat guy, fuck him.
Yeah,
Fuck
Peter
him.
Pettigrew.
Fuck him.
Scabbers.
Yeah. Ugh.
Scabbers.
Crap.
All right. I think this is time. Just bringing up Scabbers. We got to talk about this.
Hold on 1 second. I mean, you could talk about it. I'm just trying to think, because I know I had one more character that I didn't like.
Well,
The Minister.
No. Yeah, whatever.
The
Well,
hunchback guy from the end in the beginning
it'll
of the
come
movie.
to you. It'll come to you.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, and I'm sure it will come back. Like Hag said, we'll figure it. We're gonna figure this out together.
I got to. How did you boys feel about the twist?
Which one?
I-
Because technically, the whole we'll talk about it when we talk about
Yeah.
like the breaks, the whole
the
time
first
travel.
no, all right, not the MacGuffin twist, the first twist with Sirius not being like the killer, Peter
A
Pettigrew
murderer.
being
Yeah.
Peter Pettigrew being the fucking
To be expected.
rat
He
and
was
shit.
related to Harry. They're not going to make one of Harry's friends a family friend's a villain. I feel like that's just kind of just the way it's written. Like Sirius Black, for all his faults, like he's still, you could see him and Harry are still like super close. Like even for like the time they had on screen together, like not gonna lie, just by like not seeing it, just because I always like whenever I watch a movie, there's always like a little wild card I like to play just in case it pays off. I thought Lupin was Sirius, but like in with a faith, like some sort of magic. Yes, magic, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna try to explain magic, right? But even when he first pulled up on the train, he had like that coat over his head, and like because like I mean they're white guys, right? Like they're not super different looking when it comes to like their hair or like the way that their faces are shaped. It's like I could have believed if he like peeled his face off, that could have been Sirius Black. It wasn't. Oops. But that's kind of like that was the twist that I was thinking until Sirius Black, of course, pulled up and he was a fucking whatever that thing is called.
Animagus.
Animagus. Tough name.
Tough.
What'd you think, Don?
I remember being shocked about it the first time I watched it when I was like 5. But coming back to it so many years later, it's like, yeah, you could see it coming from a mile away. I feel like, especially the whole the whole speaking on Lupin, I guess specifically like the whole werewolf thing. That's super, super, super hinted at.
Yeah,
and with all the scars he has on his face, and like them talking about like, the Bogart and everything.
Right over my head. I mean,
Snape's
Snape's literally told us, and what Emma Watson's character basically fucking was like, "Come on, like it's like how many times did he have to say page 392 werewolf or whatever?" Like, it's also just like depends on like.
I mean, there's some subtle stuff too. It's like the scene right before that classroom scene where they're like, "Oh, he can't pull up to class today." It was like it's a shot from Hogwarts outside, and it's a full moon. And you see all the Dementors are out. Like, there's like subtle stuff like that too, but then also it's just like his face and stuff like that. I remember I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. Wow, that's really cool when I was a kid, but now I'm just like, yeah.
That's maybe why I didn't notice that, just because like I was still, like I said, I was just throwing that wild card that maybe he was Sirius Black. So, like that's why, because even they said it's like, oh, we shouldn't have. I mean, technically they worked together, so like it kind of was semi close, right? Like it wasn't exactly. I'm not trying to say I'm a prophet or something, but like it kind of still was like, all right, they worked together, because what kind of through my brain for a whack, like trying to maybe start thinking about it when it's like, oh, I told you we shouldn't have let Lupin teach here, even though it was because he was a werewolf, not because he was Sirius Black. You know what I'm saying? Like it was different reasons for.
So my that part of it, I'm not like, my issue more is Scabbers and Peter Pettigrew, because like as Ron said, he was in the family for like 13 years,
12 years, yeah.
12 years. And then, which is apparently awfully convenient and shit. Like, that I feel like that just felt like too much of a reach and a retcon.
It's not even a retcon, for me, it's straight from the book.
I know it's from the book, but like I'm saying, like that, like even if I read that in the book,
it's bad writing.
I would say that is a reach. That is a reach.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys read my opinions on J.K. Rowling. You already know where I stand on that.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm kind of indifferent towards. Like, I'm trying to think of like some eloquent way to say it, but like, I'm really just indifferent towards it. I think it could have been done better. It's a rat at the end of the day, and I didn't really like the rat, so like seeing it as a person kind of was a little better, but the person was also kind of fucking hideous, so like it's a give and take. Like,
I didn't like it.
Yeah. It definitely could have been better, I think. Or just, not done at all, but whatever. Not my book. But I guess then we can just get into, like, the actual, some of our favorite scenes, least favorite scenes, and then we'll go from there. Husk, what is your favorite scene in the whole movie, you think?
Probably Buckbeak. Like when they introduce him with Harry rides him for the first time.
Okay.
One of those, like any probably that one, and then I'll probably give it to, I don't know. There's something about that very end where Dumbledore's talking to Hermione and then Harry, and he's like what you said earlier, it's like, oh, they don't believe you, but I do. You need to do something, Mrs. Granger.
Increase your steps.
I think all you need to do is 3, but all is bad. Like there was just something about like what you said earlier,
Yeah.
like the acting, like his
Mhm.
charisma, his like whimsy about it. It doesn't come
Mhm.
off as like him being a know-it-all or him being like
No.
I'm the strongest wizard of all time. It's like it's just him being like helpful.
Yeah.
Or it's just such a good character moment. And then
Yeah,
it
I
wraps
agree.
back around to at the end when he comes back. They come through the door. They're like, I don't know
Yeah,
what you did. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, have a good night. And then he fucking dipped. I think that's something that could definitely. I mean, the problem is we're talking about time. Because I was literally thinking about as they disappeared, like, wait. They're still technically in that room, but then they disappear. I'm like, oh, isn't that nice and neat and tidy? But that's time shit. So whatever. But no, I agree with you. I think I think he did a great job in that role. I'm trying to think like, no,
I mean,
I'm just gonna agree with you.
we said the same thing in the last movie. Anytime Dumbledore's on screen, it's a W.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
especially
there's
now
just
with this
somebody-
actor, like he does add the charisma,
Yeah.
like you've both been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's like best example I can draw to is like when Yoda's on screen. Like, there's just something to be like admired and just is there something tough about it? Someone who's lived for that long, who has that kind of experience. Like, they're not as impulsive as like I mean, the cast is a bunch of children, right? We have Harry, we have Ron, we have Hermione, and it's like they're so impulsive, they're so all of these things, and then you have the complete polar opposite in Dumbledore, and it's like, damn, like this guy's fucking, he's tough, and like it's a good juxtaposition, I think. But unfortunately, he is also in a wood. Rest in peace. Both
R.I.P.
Dumbledores.
I think a really good scene is not the opening scene, but the double-decker bus.
Okay.
Oh yeah, with Ern.
The what?
Ern,
Urn? Is that what it's
the
called?
bus driver.
Oh, but that was fun. Like seeing it zip through London or the UK,
Yeah.
wherever the fuck it was
London.
in, and then when it's compressed to go through the other double decker buses, that was just
Okay.
a really cool. The CGI was but it was just a cool visual.
I actually don't think it looked that
I
bad, to
remember
be
being
honest with
blown
you.
away by it when I was younger, and it
Yeah,
still
I thought
holds
it
up,
actually looks
in my
pretty good.
opinion.
Yeah.
It still looks pretty good, like especially the
I think there
like,
were some
the scenes where they
scenes.
know the scenes where they
Mhm.
know that they're going to use a lot of it, like with Buckbeak, or like with anything with like not necessarily the werewolf, but like all the magic stuff. Obviously, like it still holds up pretty decently. Like I was watching it on my TV, like instead of a phone where I usually watch my stuff, and I'm like, it's still pretty good.
I agree. You know, I agree. There are definitely some scenes where it's a lot better. I think Quidditch, just in general, is just forever.
Quidditch has
That's too-
improved so
yeah.
fucking much.
Yeah, it's too. We're asking too much with Quidditch. Like, I mean, it's still. I agree, it's a little better, but my God, is it still bad? Like, but I mean, why were they
didn't
playing
need
that
to add
shit in a thunderstorm?
I was
Someone
gonna
gotta
say
tell
they
me
didn't
that.
even add the
You gotta do what you
thunderstorm
gotta do.
effects.
Quidditch is
It's like,
it's a
I'm all about extreme
dog eat
sports,
dog
but like,
game.
yeah, but it's like, come on, man, bro. I thought for a second Harry was about to get the Seeker again. I thought I was about to throw my iPad across my room because y'all know I had beef last episode because Harry did it twice, not once, twice. So if he did it 3 times in a row, you're out. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm fucking done. No more Quidditch. I'm gonna skip every scene if that happened, but it didn't, so we're all
Seeker
good.
bait.
But yeah, look, I like your answers, but it's got to go to my guy Harry thinking that somebody saved him when he saved himself. That shit was tough. That shit's hard.
That's
I-
true.
I think-
I saw it coming. Like as soon as they were back, because
Yeah,
I
as
have
soon as
a
they
big-
introduced time travel, yeah,
I
I
have
feel
a
like you.
Yeah.
which I have a big issue with, but we'll get into that in a minute. But as soon as they like went back to watch Harry and Sirius and the Dementors and shit,
Mm-hmm.
I that's when I was like, oh, it's actually gonna
Yeah.
be Harry that
I
saves
mean,
himself.
as soon as you see the angle where he's like, "Oh no, my dad pulls up," I'm like, bro, you're literally exactly where the guy was standing. Like, if you were on the other side and you saw where the thing is, okay, maybe, but you're literally on the exact angle of where the other guy saved you from. Like,
Yeah.
it's you, bro.
So
That shit's tough. I think that scene was pretty damn
Yeah.
tough. Those Seekers. I mean, those
Dementors.
Dementors.
Oh my god,
So-
man.
I've seen the Dementors for me is one thing. Is like the only thing I knew, and I didn't even know it was in this movie until they showed up for the first time. Because when I was younger, even though I never watched Harry Potter, I just liked Legos, so I got a lot of the Harry Potter Lego sets because it was cool to connect all of the Hogwarts castle.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Dementors in the sets, and I loved the Dementor minifigures. So when they showed up here, I was like, "Oh shit, this is the movie they're in."
Mm-hmm. You know, I don't even think they were the worst, like, in terms of like being hideous. Like, I don't know if I'm really sold on that take on a werewolf. I think that was,
The very
I mean,
skinny
it's scary.
werewolf.
Yeah, like it's
I didn't like it. It was really
It's a
weird.
it's a very like classic werewolf. Like that's apparently how they were described in like ancient medieval
Mhm.
tomes and stuff like that. Like no skin, like they look like they're like hairless cats
Yeah.
almost.
yeah. I mean, because it's literally like man wolf or whatever. So like, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Where like it's supposed to literally just be like a man, but like has werewolf properties. Like I get that, but at the same time, I think he was too bald. Like I think he needed something. Like he was just way too bald to be like a werewolf per se. Like
A little
think a
something
werewolf
on his
had-
chest.
yeah, it wasn't enough to me. It was like he it reminded me of something from Scooby Doo. I don't know why. I feel like there was like a werewolf in Scooby Doo that looked very similar to that one of the movies. But that's not the
Scooby-Doo?
It looks
Yeah,
like
it's not the-
Scooby Doo in those movies.
yeah.
Should I get into my issue with the time travel now?
Hold on. Let me see if let me read through my notes. Oh, Harry fucking letting his nuts hang at the beginning. Whoo, I needed that. Whoo, I needed that.
Oh, against his aunt and uncle?
Yeah, and all
Yeah.
of them.
Finally.
Against
All
all
of
of them.
them.
I was just sitting there. I was like,
It was finally, bro.
I was like, yeah. I was leaning. I was looking like Stilgard when fucking Paul
soon as
Atreides
he
was
started
talking. I was like,
yelling, it's like, my dad's not a drunk. I was like, oh, Harry about to pop off.
man, no, because they were dissing. Because like, they're always disrespectful to the kid. But when you start talking about the parents,
dead parent, the
That's what I'm
dead
saying.
parent, not even the parents,
Yes.
the dead parents.
and then the disrespectful ass talking sideways about dead people, and I'm sitting there like, I'm like, Harry, what's up? And then he starts chatting. I'm like, yeah, that's what I like to see.
And then he blew that. So, all right,
Ooh.
Quill, did you read the books?
Is she dead?
I was like, did
No,
she?
she's not
Did
dead.
did she actually blow up in the books, or is it the same thing? Like she inflated like a balloon.
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. I mean, the minister says it too when he gets to the end. He's
Yeah,
like,
they found her.
We had like the wizard police like catch her.
I don't know. I
deflate
feel
her.
like but just something in my mind is when they kept saying like you blew up your aunt. I was like, oh,
No,
maybe in the
they
book
didn't
she
blow
actually
up.
They're
blew up.
English. They're English, Hag. They don't know
You're
what
right.
they're
They
talking
don't know
about.
proper English.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
right. You're right. There's a lot where I'm like, what
The
the
one
fuck
thing
are
that
you
actually,
trying
no,
to
that's
say?
not true. I'll take it back, Englishman, because the word sacked, I was fucking with that. They
So
don't tell me
sacked
they
is the
sacked
fire?
you.
They
Yeah,
sacked you.
that was pretty hard. I did fuck with that too.
Tough break getting sacked though. Like, but did they sack you, Hagrid? He's like, no. And I was like, damn, what the
I haven't
hell?
been sacked.
Like, damn, bro. Like, so someone got to walk me through that.
It took me a minute to realize what they were like, what he was trying to say.
Yeah, getting pulled up on and getting that shit peeled off him. Really
You
taking
got-
off.
The suit's peeled.
Yeah. Nah, that shit was weak. There's some British words that I think are better than their American counterparts, and that's definitely one of them. Getting
Oh,
sacked.
yeah.
That's classic.
I mean, imagine if B pulled up and said the kid got sacked, and I'm the kid this time. Like,
That's weak.
sacked is fucking vile.
Oh, that map. That whole thing with the map, like, that kind of felt like OG plot device, but that's
He still
fine.
got it. Harry
Yeah.
still got the map.
I'm sure it will come back again, probably in a later movie, because that shit's way too strong to just be pulling up in every movie. At least I think so, anyways. But
Yeah, hit your mic.
yeah, I hit my mic a little bit. I think the map was cool. I think the spells around it were cool. I think it's like, I've done it like mischief managed or whatever. Then it closed. I think it's cool.
I'm up to no good.
Yeah, then that's how
Yeah.
you open it. But the problem is like, I feel like it just inherently doesn't work when you're in a school with a bunch of wizards. Like, Snape's was immediately like, he tapped it on his wand. He's like, "Show me what's in here," and that's it.
No,
like-
it didn't. It didn't.
No, it
unlock.
didn't work.
Oh, it didn't. Oh,
No.
Oh, it was
It
like a
doesn't-
poem or something, right?
yeah,
It was
that
like
insults
just
the reader.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
Lupin wasn't saying that like as sarcastic. He was being like, that's
Okay.
literally what it was.
That makes sense then. Because at first I
Oh.
was like, damn. I was like, a book that power, like a map. I mean, that's literally freaking all knowing that damn map, and it's like you'd expect it to be a little bit more defense.
You would
like,
think it
have
would
more...
be a little more crowded though, with how many fucking people are in Hogwarts.
True, I agree. I think that was a little. I mean, like you see the mess hall, like there is a shit ton of fucking people there. You have 4 houses, like
4 houses over how many fucking years of people being in there?
no.
No.
Oh, hey, get on the soapbox. What's your
All right.
beef? Let me just preface before Hag gets before he gets it off his chest. Let me just preface by saying my opinion on time travel. Don't do it. If I was a writer, wrote a book, I would just don't do it. I think you have so much more to lose than you have to gain introducing time travel into any universe. I don't care where you do, unless it's like time travel in terms of like time dilation, like in Interstellar or something like that. That's a very different type of time travel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very different type of time travel. That's not what I'm talking about. But like in terms of like actual travel to the past, because you can't actually travel to the past, like that term of it.
Here's my issue. So if they're the ones who like threw the rock and saved Harry and did all of that the first time around, and it's, you know, a time loop type thing, how did the fucking hippogriff die? Because they watched the hippogriff.
They didn't.
It was the pumpkin. It was a pumpkin.
But from when they were
Each
up
time.
above,
When they were up
they're
above,
too far away.
they didn't see the hippogriff.
Yeah,
They just saw the what's
I
it
agree
called?
with that because
The
I was confused
executioner.
too.
okay,
All
'cause
they saw was the executioner bring his axe down.
That was my biggest issue.
If you watch that scene again, the pumpkin guts explode everywhere. That's why they probably thought. Because like, if you see like immediately she turns, Emma Watson's character or Hermione's character, she turns immediately, and like I think it's Ron. She goes in his arms, so he's distracted, so he doesn't actually see it. Then Harry looks back at them. Like it's pretty airtight.
Okay.
I was a little impressed because like normally because I was agreeing with you.
That was my biggest thing. I was like, how the fuck? That makes more sense now. If that's the case.
Yeah, I mean it's still
I don't. Time travel's it's
nasty business. It's nasty business.
I personally think, and this is not even me just being a fucking an MCU fucking fanboy, but like I think that the way that they do time travel is like the best, where it's like it's not actually time travel, you're kind of creating another universe. Like that makes the most type of sense.
I mean, sense. It's like we're talking about sense and time travel. I mean, I guess so.
Regardless, it's not. It's such a tricky topic.
I was about to say, like, I'm agreeing a little with Hag. Like, for the purpose of a plot, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's also like I like the refreshed version of it because I think it's very played out. The whole we can't see our previous selves, we can't influence anything in the past because it affects the future. Like I think that idea has more like fundamentally. I think it makes more sense, just in terms of like butterfly effect and shit. But like, I mean, like you said, I think like in a movie, I think every movie's different. I think Avengers were just like I think it works better with the way you were talking about Hag. But in this movie, like. I think opening up a separate timeline in a movie like this would be.
I'm not saying it should open up a separate timeline.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that time travel, like, I'm not a fan of the way that
when it's like a closed loop.
Yeah.
When it's just the same things happening over.
Because you're
the one actually doing it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
It's iffy. It's iffy.
It's just like as soon as you introduce like this is just me like as just in terms of like
paradoxes and time loops are just fucking they get to the point where it's like you're too reliant on that, and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Obviously I don't know what happens in the rest of the movies, but that's like introducing time travel just opens up such a can of worms that's hard to close. And then you also now have this point of it's like, okay, if all of this happened, why didn't they use the time travel now?
That's in a nutshell my beef with time travel. It's like you introduce something, it's like, oh, this person can go invisible. Why are you not always invisible then when you're fighting? So like that kind of idea where it's like, as soon as you introduce it once, it's got to always be used because that's your crutch. And like nobody wants to see that, but that's just realistic. Like
actually, speaking of invisible, just completely off topic from what we were just talking about, but Harry using the cloak of invisibility against fucking Draco and his goons was much needed. That was fucking great too. Harry's finally
Draco
letting
was
his
getting
nuts hang.
tossed this whole movie.
Draco was getting tossed this whole movie.
Oh yeah,
He was getting bitched by Hermione. He was scared. Like, he's like, I want to get that mud blood, and then he's fucking scared by her. Like, the fuck is your problem?
I'll never get that. Like that whole bullying. You touched on it, Paco. The whole bullying archetype, where it's like Harry clearly has no reason to ever receive any sort of bullying, but like he's at the receiving. Not so much in this movie. I'll say that, but in the previous two movies, I feel like he was always at the butt end. It's like Harry Potter, name alone, nobody's doing anything to him.
Oh, jealousy. It's jealousy.
Okay, sure, but like you see Harry ride that bird or whatever, and then Draco gets smoked on sight. He's literally crying like a little baby, but then he's still the bully. Like that would never fly. Like the minute a bully starts crying, he's done. Like you are gonna hang it up. You're hanging up your cape or your coat, and you're done.
No more bully.
Yeah, it's just like the not old head, but like the older concept of bullying that just it's a little too much. It's like we get it. Draco got beef with Harry. He's jealous of him, but like that man is like he's just fucking. This is literally.
Yeah,
that's literally.
He'd be sucking Harry.
Yeah, true. What else?
Is this the shortest of the movies? Is this the 2-hour one?
I believe
2 hours and 24 minutes. I think it was.
No,
2 hours and 22.
There's a one that's shorter, I believe.
You got 2 hours and 22. I mean, it can't be by much.
It
though,
felt the shortest though.
This did feel the shortest. I will say that because it was over, and then I was like, "It's over."
Yeah, no, I'd agree. What was it looking? Damn, it only got 7.9 on IMDb. I mean, I know we don't normally get too much into that, but I think that's kind of crazy.
Order of the Phoenix is the shortest one.
What is that? 7?
Sense.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the shortest one, but
yeah, it's part 2. I think we talked about this last episode, just because it was the end of the part 2, so they were tapped out.
So, should I say my hot take, or should?
Let's just get to, I mean, I don't have any quotes. I don't know if you guys have any. Then we can just go to Yates, and then that could be part of like the Yates would be your hot take. I feel like.
Okay. No, I don't really have any quotes.
Not me either. I mean, I said
These
it like
movies
right
haven't
after
been
the
very
first movie.
quotable.
Yeah, like the dialogue is just not at that same level, I think, than the story, at least right now.
That's anything Dumbledore says.
I agree.
Dementors are vicious creatures. They will not distinguish between the ones that they hunt and the one that gets in their way.
I think that's ridiculous.
Just that
I don't
whole
know.
dialogue.
I just feel like Dementors just seem like they cause more problems than what they're fucking worth.
Yeah,
that's just me though.
Yeah. There's no need for the Dementors. It's dinner time.
No, that's just fucking Alexa telling me it's gonna rain, even though it's already raining.
Thanks, Alexa.
Yeah.
So I guess then my hot take, because I know DL, we were talking about this in the beginning. You said it was tough. I think that I still like the second one better, personally. I think that if the second one was short, however, I like the second one better. However, I think this is a better movie. If the second one was a little shorter, I feel like I would like it. Like it would even itself out.
Yeah. I mean, just point blank before we get all the way into that. I mean, this movie's definitely better in my opinion, but I'll talk about it a little more. I talked to Paco a little bit about this when we were on the seed yesterday. But did you have any Yates moments, Pac? I know in the Magic universe, it's very difficult to have like a Yate. I could have thought I had one. Shit. I guess I got to write this stuff down because I could have swore I had one.
Not really. I'm trying to think because I just watched it like last night before I went to bed after we got off the seed.
The seed. That sounded sus.
I could have swore there was like one scene where I was like, I don't know about all that. Fuck. Damn it, man, I'm upset now because I felt like it was pretty good too. But you didn't have any, right, Hag? I mean, besides your like whole, I mean, that was just a hot take. That wasn't a
Yeah, I mean, with the world of magic, it's really hard to pull.
Oh yeah,
So
Harry not getting suspended on sight for smoking Snape's, smoking him. He pulled that man's back out, bro. He fucking threw that guy against the bed, and that shit fucking dropped on his ass. Like,
I mean, to be fair,
I just
Harry
think
was
like,
right. Harry was right.
I mean, they don't know that. We're you're looking at it from Harry's POV right now. Yeah, sure, Harry's right to himself. I mean, like in general, he is right, sure. But like to
He's
Snape,
Harry Potter though, so nothing. He's untouchable.
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, of course, and that's why it's a yeah, because it's like I know he's Harry Potter, but like
Still,
I think Snape's would have legitimate beef with Harry after getting tossed like that. Like,
that's true.
I think it was like I think there's other ways to like send someone away than like smoke like whatever Expelliarmusing him his fucking bitch ass like
What
that.
is
Like,
all right? So what does Expelliarmus do? Considering it shot that thing at Snape, but it also like removed the wands from everyone's hands.
yes,
I got no idea.
Yeah.
If I had to describe it, I guess it's like a very
A
concentrated
knockback
force. Yeah,
is
like a very
knockback
concentrated
spell?
push,
Interesting.
almost like a force push, basically. I don't know. That's the only way I could think about it.
Okay. To me, it just seems like fucking RNG. They're just like flicking the wrist and whatever happens, happens. Like a QED from Call of Duty. It's like you just you throw that bitch and it's like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. You can spawn in a ray gun. Yeah, you can do whatever. Yeah, that's all I got though for you. It's like it's very minor. There wasn't anything egregious in this movie. Like this movie is very, I said it before, like it's very open shut, not open shut. It's like just a very airtight. Like I think it's very well told. I think you said it, Paco, yesterday, where like it feels like even a slightly different genre than the first two. I would agree with that. I feel like it's kind of leans more into the sci-fi than into what the previous two were doing. But I don't know. Thirsty moment. We're not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting close. I mean, not that close, but we're getting.
We're not close, unfortunately.
Look,
You're not close.
Hag,
You're
I gotta
a
tell
couple
them.
weeks away.
I gotta tell them something, Hag. There are legitimate boys with their cocks in their hand right now, waiting for me to lean in and tell them something nice, and I got nothing to tell them. What am I supposed to do?
Another month. We're only on movie 3, bro.
What am I supposed to tell them, Hag? They're waiting. They're sitting there. They're sitting there like freaking hunched over, like fucking, like this fucking. This is them fucking hunched over with their hand on their winky. Like they don't know what to do. But like I said, there's nothing. There's like not even. Moment. I feel like it's either like young children or old adults. Like there is no like middle-aged people. Yeah, it's so weird. But
you got Professor McGonagall.
Yeah, he's a man.
Into that.
Yeah, he's a fucking man.
No,
McGonagall's the woman.
The old ass lady.
Oh, old ass lady, come on! No.
That's what I'm saying. If you're into that.
Yeah, I'm not personally to each their own, of course, but I'm not.
Nothing wrong with a good gilf.
No thirsty moment. No more talk about gilfs. And it's time for. I'm very sad we're doing the question of the week this week. You guys saw.
Yeah, what was that
I
all
haven't
about?
even seen it.
You guys saw.
I saw the story. I'm actually kind of like curious as to what that's all about.
I got you. So it's very sad. So I
Better
was
not be
like,
because of what I sent.
Quill, what's the flavor of choice?
Cherry ice.
Lost Mary cherry cola.
Damn.
It's no cola.
So I was like, look, I didn't have a great question for you guys this week. I'm not gonna lie, I'll take that. Okay, I said favorite fantasy world because you know what? Sometimes you don't need to overthink things. Favorite fantasy world, everyone has one. If you haven't watched a fantasy movie before, you are fucking lying. So I was like, all right, everyone can relate to this, right? All right, so a couple people ended up filling in, but at one point there was literally Paco and Chet, and I was contemplating suicide, like the story suggests. I was like the host of this show. When I post a question that isn't fucking multiple choice, when it's open ended, fellas, off that shit. But of course, you
You know,
guys.
I'm always
you
ready
guys-
to paragraph when it's open-ended.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
that's what I'm saying, and that's why I
Even
do
when
it,
it
because
ain't.
because that's one thing. Like sometimes, like especially in a video style that we're in, like sometimes like a word just isn't enough. Like sometimes you need to like expand on, and people have done that in the past. And look, I'm joking. I don't actually care, but I do appreciate when you guys do add a little more to it because it makes.
We don't care, but we care.
It's like I don't care, but like if you want to have your voice be heard, and if you just want to have an opinion and have us, because I like hearing I like hearing you guys' opinions. I've been on the soapbox before. It switches things up. It changes the status quo when you have someone who doesn't come on the show, who lives in a different freaking area, who blah 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 blah, gives their take. So I'm like, that's an interesting take. But when y'all are saying nothing, how am I supposed to know? So, of course, I asked you guys, what was your favorite fantasy world? I think it's actually a pretty good question. I kind of freaking I kind of give myself a pat on the back.
I know.
This
I had
picture
to
you
think about
sent.
it for a second.
It's a hard one.
This picture you sent. This is just Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought
It's just
so.
Elder Scrolls in general, but Skyrim's like just that one piece of media I put the most time into. I could say that confidently. It's the one piece of media I've put the most amount of time into in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Caught trying to smuggle 50 boxes of Monster Ultra White across the border to Hammerfell
That's why he got
to be
executed.
executed.
He didn't even get executed. He just got shot in the back too,
Jesus.
like a coward.
They gotta at least let him do seppuku. Chet said the Elder Scrolls universe also. So you and Chet on the same
Yes,
wavelength.
sir. Elder Scrolls 6, 2029.
I hate how confident you said that too. That makes me sick. 2029. I like it's tomorrow.
Jesus.
Willie said Dungeons and Dragons, not the movie, specifically the tabletop role playing building game. Okay, I mean I don't have too much experience in Dungeons and Dragons, but I mean I think everyone kind of like at
It's
least
tough. It's
Yes,
just
it's
fun because you can make your
It's-
own world,
Exactly.
basically.
You can make your own stories with this ginormous world that was pre-built.
Umbrella said MCU, of course. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer. Sure, why not? It's of course all subjective. Jacob the Hood said
Hood.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I like that one. I think
That's
that's a sneaky
It's-
answer. I think that's
Yeah.
like it doesn't come to mind immediately, but it's a damn good answer. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't have one. Like I made this question knowing that I have like four at like immediately that comes to mind. I mean, Game of Thrones, like in the vacuum that is season 7, like we're just gonna move that out of the way because House of the Dragon, tough as nails. I think Game of Thrones got a super solid foundation. I think like the way the story, I mean the world is just built, like just the way R.R. Martin makes it, it's just solid as hell. Like where you just have like the history of it just feels like our history, and I think that's important when you're making a new world. It's like you need familiarities, and Westeros or fucking everything about it has so much of it. Like there's so many real. I mean, obviously it's a lot of inspiration from real life events. Spoilers for anyone who thought he made up all that shit on his own, but you know, I like that kind of stuff. But that's just the first thing that comes to mind. Like there's so many,
Yeah, I mean,
like Overwatch.
No.
no. I mean, like, I agree with Jacob with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, the entire Avatar universe is fire.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Mumbarilla with the MCU. Like, that's a big one as well. I can't include Star Wars anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll say Dune. I'll replace Star Wars with Dune. Like it will take Star Wars' spot.
I mean, for anybody who knows me, I have to include Pokemon. Like,
Okay.
that's just a no-brainer for me.
Good answer.
But there's so many good ones to choose
Yeah.
from. I'd say that those would be my top 3. Would be like Avatar, MCU, and Pokemon in no particular order.
I'm just looking through the movies I've watched and shows I've watched recently, see if there's anything I'm missing. No, not really. What about you? I mean, no, Paco, you already. I'm here. I'm waiting for you to say something.
but then, I mean,
You already
if you want
said
to bring
it.
up more, then definitely Mass Effect.
Okay.
God, Mass Effect is so tough. I gotta. It's about that time of the year where I replay all 3 games again.
That's the joint where it's underwater, right?
What?
That's the
Nah,
space one.
No. Mass
You're
Effect.
thinking
No,
of
I'm
Mass
thinking of
Effect.
Bioshock. No, not Bioshock. The old ass Steam game, old ass fucking like 2000 Steam game, where like you're underwater or whatever, and you have like that fucking whatever. Not important. Cool. I personally haven't played. I'm trying to think of what it's called now because now it's fucking hurting me.
Underwater.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bro, don't worry about it. It's on Steam. I know it was on Steam forever. I think it's like only on Steam. It's one of those old ass games that fucking whatever his name is, Gabe fucking produced, I think, or whatever.
Portal?
No.
Or
Half-Life? Left 4 Dead? What are you thinking about here?
Bro,
Those
I
are
don't
the only
know.
Valve games that matter. I know you don't play
No.
TF2.
Not TF2.
No, whatever. It's not important. Whatever.
Alright.
But thank you
Okay.
guys. If I figure it out, maybe I'll leave something around here somewhere if I remember. But thank you guys for answering. Anyone who did answer, catch that kiss. You're the best. You guys did good this week. Anyone who didn't, this is it. Like I said, this is the piece of paper that's got all of your loved ones' addresses and tendencies and what they do all day. So if I ever needed to, run into them by accident, that would happen. Just know. But besides that, what else?
Nice.
The mechanical keyboard, I hear it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up this game though. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
I gave up, Quill. I just stopped thinking.
a shame I'm on my Mac. I definitely played it.
Soma?
No.
Alright, move
Maybe
on.
it is Bioshock.
I'm thinking it's Bioshock, 'cause that's the only one that I can think of that's old enough for you to like say it's like, oh, it came out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2, not Infinite, because that one took place in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. It's bugging me, but I'll get over it.
Oh, well.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of Fallout, the style of it, if that fucking makes you remember
Bioshock.
it. Yeah, probably. I know the villain's tough in it. That's just what I remember. The villain
Bioshock.
tough. Yeah.
Bioshock.
Okay.
Bioshock.
Well, I'm glad it's come full circle. We got to figure it out now. But over under critic now, I already made my point. This movie had a 7.9. I think that's kind of wild, but whatever.
Time to rank.
Time to rank it. Let's get this
All right.
going. Hey,
So,
do you want to? Do you think we should like remind everyone what we had for the previous movies, just to like put it in perspective? Because I wrote mine down.
yeah, we probably should.
I mean, we don't have to. I was just suggesting.
No, we probably should.
Okay. I mean, Quill, I know we asked B this question last week, and it's difficult because you've seen the other movies, so it's a little bit easier for you to have like the hindsight of rating it. But just on this movie alone, pretend that you didn't watch the next 5 movies. What do you think? We do letter grades.
Probably like a B plus.
Okay.
Maybe
Fair.
like an A, like a low A. Only because there's some parts of it that are like we were talking about before, Peter Pettigrew, nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Some of
Yeah.
the CGI is wonky. A lot of it's good, but then like it just gets in your.
Yeah.
You notice it a couple times, even though it holds up for the most part. And yeah, the tropes, just like
Yeah.
all the character tropes, like you could tell it was written
It's so hard
for children.
It's so hard for me to take points off for that, just because I think everything created during this time was super tropey like that. I think
No,
only
but like specifically Harry Potter.
okay.
Like for me at least, like it around this time where movies were coming out, like when I was a kid watching that stuff, I'm like watching it back now. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, you weren't here for the first one, but I said it about his parents. Like, I mean, his adopted parents, like his aunt and uncle, just being like villain Von Bad guy like that. Like, it's just there are a lot of movies I like that. Like, I'm not picking on this movie in particular, but it's just the movie I've seen most recently that has it happen, and it's a trope that I'm glad is dead. Like, for the most part, it's like nothing's gone forever, but like you just don't really see that. Like, oh, here's a character and here's the people that exist literally just to make fun of him and like put him down. Like, at least now it's a little bit more webbed into like integrated into a story nowadays. Like, there's at least they have a relationship between the character that's trying to bring down the other character instead of just being his aunt and uncle. Like, it's not very elaborate in my opinion, but I agree. What do you think, Ag? I think, did you already say your rating earlier in the video?
I did not.
Oh, okay. What you got?
I think I'm gonna also put it in like the B plus category because that puts it around Chamber of Secrets, which is, as I said, like if Chamber of Secrets was a little shorter, I think it would be the better of the two movies. But I do think I'd still like it more.
Okay.
So I think B plus. I don't know where I would rank those two. Depending those two rankings, like of where the 2 and 3 stand, will probably be based on how the rest rolled out.
Okay.
But yeah, somewhere in the B plus as well.
Okay. So I'd give Chamber of Secrets like a B plus, and then I'd give this movie like an A or an A minus, probably more similar to Queel. I mean, for all the reasons I said last episode, I think the ending of Chamber of Secrets was about as weak as it gets when it comes to movies. I think them stabbing a book to fucking end the movie was not good. And I think this movie just has the ending is way better. I mean, CGI animal fight. All right, I mean, it is definitely a little wonky. I'll give you that. But that I think Harry just pulling up, saving himself, that whole scene, that whole time travel, like time travel was weird just because I had to check the time. It was like 30 minutes left, and they're just introducing it. I know they're hinting at it all movie. I get that, but I think that. Yeah, I mean, no, because like every 2 seconds, they're like, I mean, they're hinting. They're basically telling you because fucking every 2 seconds, where's Hermione? How'd she get here? Was she here before? Like, come on, man. Like, I didn't know what it was. I'll be honest, but like, I knew it was going to happen. Like the same way that, the tears from the Phoenix. As soon as he said, I was like, all right, who's getting the tears from the Phoenix? Like, they're not low key with their foreshadowing at all in these movies. But I mean, whatever. But give it an A. A because I think of course the runtime is a big plus. I think
it being shorter is definitely helps.
And like the previous movie could have been just as long, but I mean I already spoke my piece on the last movie, but I think this is a good step. I'm actually pretty excited for the fourth movie. I'm excited to see like the kind of. We're getting Voldemort soon. We have to. Like it's been 3 movies, and those boys are still in the.
I don't think we get Voldemort for a minute.
Those boys are still in the kitchen. Damn, bro. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, it is a 7-book series.
I
don't think we're getting Voldemort till the end of 6 at the very least.
No,
and I'm probably wrong with that.
Now I saw what's his name was casted as Voldemort in the fourth one just by looking at I'm not even spoilers. Like I was literally just looking at the runtimes and I saw he was in the cast. What's his name? Fucking
it's probably
the menu actor, the Kingsman actor, whatever the hell his name is. But like I'm sure they'll just use his voice or whatever. But I'll see how it plays out. I think I said this in the first movie or when we were talking to B. Like if it's worth the wait, I'm here for it. But if they're gonna make us wait and salivate and just keep teasing us, literally giving us just a tip for like 3 or 4 more movies, I'm gonna be pissed. If it's like
that's true.
If it's underwhelming at least, but we'll see. Only time will tell. We got a lot more movies to watch, like we said last week. Stick with us.
Movies. We'll be here through it for a couple more weeks.
Couple, yeah, sure.
But while you're waiting for next week's episode to come out, as usual, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, follow us and give us a review. If you're done with all of that, go over to our Instagram at the Staincast where you can follow, turn on post notifications, and stick around for the question of the week and the teaser that'll be posted at some point this week for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
And vote on the question of the week, goddammit.
Yeah, it's fucking for serious.
And thank you to the Queel for popping out. Appreciate you popping out.
We'll see you guys next week for Goblet of Fire.